The CD is finished. It's very exciting. It's been quite a journey. We started in February 2011 and it's now January 2012, and it's been the most amazing process. It's been exciting writing and arranging the music and working with the different musicians. We started recording in Christchurch in February last year, and we completed the recording process over in London. So it has been quite a journey. The title track of this CD was written when I actually arrived in Tokyo. I left New Zealand and I had to say goodbye to a lot of family and friends, and I knew I wasn't going to see them for a while. And I was feeling a little bit sad and wistful when I arrived in Tokyo, and I got to the hotel and it was in a big skyrise, and I remember lying up on my bed looking out the window, and this melody came into my head, and I got some manuscript out of the top of my violin case and I just wrote it down. And when I finished writing all the parts, which was a couple of months later, put it all together, I really liked this tune and I thought that it might make a good title track for this CD. One of the tunes on this CD is called Mr. Barnaby Jackson. Now this is a tune about our little puppy dog. Well, he's not a puppy dog anymore, he's actually over 2 years old, but when I wrote it, he was a puppy dog and he was so cute. He's a little spaniel foxy cross with floppy ears and he's all black and white, and he's just the most darling wee creature. And when I got him, he used to play all the time, and he would run around. When I'd be sitting at the piano writing tunes and that, he'd be running around my feet, and then he'd jump up on the table and destroy something and run off somewhere else. And I had this idea about writing a tune that was like a little story about his life, and it's got all different sections in it. Some are playful, some are a little bit dramatic, and then there's a section when he's sleeping. And when I was writing this tune, I was sitting at the piano and he would sleep on my feet, and it was just so gorgeous. The most recent composition I wrote for this CD actually was written after we started recording, doing the recording process for this CD, and the reason for that is because of the devastating earthquake that hit Christchurch on February the 22nd, 2011. This tune's called Calm After the Storm, and it just seemed to come to me. I was sitting at the piano and I was feeling pretty shaky and very frightened for a lot of people, and very fortunate that my house was still standing and that we're all alive and well. What has been great to see is the new things that are popping up around Littleton and the people that are creating this and making it happen. You know, it's such a quirky community, and it's just been lovely to see it being reborn after such a devastating event. My only sadness is that the old Harbourlight Theatre, the old lady, she's been brought to the ground, and I'd done all my concerts there, all the DVD and CD releases in the past, so many concerts. We'll miss her. Well, here I am at my little piano in my little lounge, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this tune that I wrote that actually has ended up being the first track on the album, and it's called Pizzicato Rumba. And I found this old manuscript just the other day because I wanted to start writing another tune, and I thought, well, maybe we could use it. And it's not very glamorous. This is actually the portion of the tune here, and it looks rather messy actually. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this wee line here, the bass line, and this is how this tune started. I came up with this wee line. thought, well, that on its own is not enough, so let's put a little counter melody with it. So in the right hand, which ends up being the violin, I had etc, etc. And then I thought, well, maybe we could have another little section in the middle. So I actually ended up doing a wee key change, and I went to a romantic section, which I quite like doing in the middle of my tunes sometimes, and came up with. So, and on we go. So that's a little bit about how I write some of my music. I did it very last minute and gave the music to the band on the day that we were recording, and just lucky they were such fantastic musicians that we got all the takes done. It ended up being the first track on the CD, and I just think of it as a little bit of fun, my wee pizzicato rumba. One of the tunes on the CD is called the Theatre Royal Overture. Now, when I wrote this, it wasn't actually intended to be on the CD. It was for the opening of a big show I was doing at the Isaac Theatre Royal in Christchurch. Now, for those of you that may not know this venue, it's a stunning, beautiful, grand, almost like an opera house. One funny thing about the tune I was writing, when I walk on stage, I was going to play this little cadenza type intro, and I found it really difficult to practice this part of the tune because Mr. Barnaby Jackson, who you know so well by now, he decided that he would join in while I was practicing it. We thought it might be quite fun to actually record Barnaby Jackson's reaction to me practicing this little cadenza that I played in the tune. So we're going to give a go now and see if he comes running and tries to join in with me practicing. It has been amazing to think that we've actually got this CD completed and we're releasing it now. It's just been the most traumatic of years, and you know, we've been so lucky, some people haven't. But I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you that have watched this little clip, and also to all the musicians that have taken part in this CD and have made the effort to come over to Littleton and do recording, and also the wonderful musicians in London that we've used. So I think it's time to say goodbye from myself and Mr. Barnaby Jackson.